Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Chris. We're here today with Mike from Werner. He's the technical service manager. Mike, who do we have joining us today?
Well, today we have James Terry from Roof Life. You are the owner. You want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself today?
Absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to come in and talk with you guys. And again, Roof Life, we're a family-owned and operated roofing company, kind of focus on residential roofing in the Charlotte area, but we're based out of Harrisburg.
Excellent. And Roof Life, any significance behind the name?
Well, we get a lot of people that ask us, why'd you pick Roof Life? And we always kind of tell them the story, and we have it on our website as well. But when we started looking at this, we were looking at a roofing industry that seemed to like it and needed some help. So one of our family mottos is to speak life into our friends and family. And so one of my kids was like, well, how about if we try to speak life into the roofing industry? And that's how we came up with Roof Life. And it's been great ever since.
So, gentlemen, how did we come together here to have James here today? Who wants to start on that story?
I can jump in on that.
I'll let you start.
Yeah. So, I work from home, and so I was able to see about 4 houses in my neighborhood get their roofing done with very little, if any, fall protection equipment. And my neighbor's roof, I noticed that everybody was in fall protection. The ladders were set up the right way. So I'm quick to take pictures of things that are being done wrong. So when I saw everything being done right, I was like, well, I need to take some pictures of this. This is more of the rarity than the norm. So I was like, okay. And then I saw James outside. I was like, I got to go talk to, how is this guy able to have his entire crew in fall protection? And I just watched 4 of the roofs get done with very little.
James,
so I asked him the question.
Is that how you saw that first interaction going?
So, it's always a sensitive nature when you're doing somebody's roof and the houses are decently close together that you never want to upset a neighbor. So then when we see strangers outside, Mr. Mike over here outside taking pictures, that's always turns in, a lot of times, that is more of a negative than a positive. Somebody's coming out, or they're coming out and they're saying, hey, we need your help. We have a piece of fascia that has fallen off or something like that. But in Mike's scenario, after talking to him and just kind of finding out how we could help him, he let us know that, who he worked for, focused on, making, he loved the idea that we had our fall protection set up and our ladder tied off. And so we just got to talking, and that's kind of where we're at today, is just kind of emphasizes and kind of focusing on more of the fall protection side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 1 in 10 fatal slip, trips, and falls happen from roofers.
Now, can you say it 3 times fast?
Maybe. We can try it one more time.
So you're telling me 1 in 10 accidents are roofer related?
Yeah, that happens among roofers. Yep, 1 in 10 slip, trips, and falls.
That's good.
Yeah, happen among roofers.
It's amazing. You guys it's something that the guys are doing every day. So it's so important to make sure that we are pre-planning prior to being out on that job. And it's, the way that we do it. And there's so many different ways that, all these roofing companies out there are doing it. But the one way we actually use a program that we can take pictures of the house during an inspection time. And then we're allowed to take these pictures. We can incorporate notes with these pictures as well. So the guys know the week before they even do this roof, what they need on site, from fall protection to the size of the ladders that they need on site. They're able to look at the pitch of the roof, see how many connection points that they're going to need for the fall protection, everything the week before. So we already have that safety plan kind of already ready to go the week before that we do that roof.
So you're going out and you're inspecting every one of these roofs. Are you climbing up and taking care of it yourself, or do you have somebody do that for you?
Well, we do have somebody else doing that for us, but it is new technology. It's a drone. So we use a drone now to do a lot of our inspections. And what's nice is that drone can go across the every angle of that roof, even if it's a 12-12 or 15-12 pitch. We're able to get down to the eaves. We're able to get to the tops. if it's a 3-story house, we're able to get to the top and get all the pictures necessary that are so important and vital for us when we're trying to make sure that we pre-plan our safety program or a safety plan for that house. So drone is what we use, and I've been through 5 of them because unfortunately they like trees, but I think this is my 5th one. I think we're good. We're good now. I figured it out.
But it engineers out the hazard, which is fantastic.
Engineering out the hazard. So what do you mean by that?
Engineering out that. So in safety, you have a hierarchy of controls. And at the very top of that hierarchy is engineering out whatever that hazard is. So in this case, instead of having to go up on the roof to inspect every single one, he uses the drone to go up there, probably see it just as well with the drone than with the naked eye. And it allows James to stay on the ground. So you're engineering out that fall hazard by using the drone instead of going up on the roof.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a nice feature to have.
It's crucial to have it. And just the technology now with how these cameras are. I mean, the clarity on the pictures is unbelievable. It's just like you're looking at it. So it's definitely helped out the roofing industry.
So you're compiling all this, and you said you're using a program to pass it along to your crew?
We are. So they have the same username and password. I mean, so they can get into this program at any point. So what they get from me the week before is the addresses on the roofs for the next week. And so they just type those in, pulls up all the pictures, the additional notes that they need. And then from there, my crew chief is planning out what they're going to need for that roof that day. So, just the efficiency side of it, making sure that, we don't want to go to supply houses throughout the day and go get more materials or go get more ladders or more safety equipment. So we do have an enclosed trailer on site that has additional materials in it, has additional safety materials in it, equipment that we need. So if one of the ropes is frayed too bad, that we can switch it out on site. And so that just keeps us very efficient.
What type of equipment are you using on a daily basis?
So we use a full harness. Ours is from Werner, and but the guys like the ones with the anchors on the side that they tie off to, and then we have our ladders as well. They're aluminum ladders. We feel like with the weight of them, we're always we have one ladder that we have tied off, and it stays in one spot throughout the day. But then we have smaller ladders that we like to use on little bay windows and little areas that there's little kick out shed roofs that we have to get to. So then they're lightweight, so they're able to move them around, tie them off, get the work done as soon as possible.
So you like an aluminum over a fiberglass?
Yes, we do have a few fiberglass, but we typically focus on aluminum, the fiberglass. So if we do any type of new construction, which is kind of limited, but the new construction that we do, we have to use fiberglass ladders. So that's typically the only reason we're using them.
So this digital program, this allows you to plan out what equipment you need, but it also allows you to plan out the safety aspect as well?
Right. Yeah.
Now, are you doing that, or is it the crew chief that is doing that?
It's both of us. He kind of puts his plan together, and then it's in the program when he puts his plan together, so I'm able to see what it looks like. And then if I need to add to it or question him on it, hey, do we have enough harnesses for that day? And then, because it all matters too, if it's a 20 square roof versus a 60 square roof, how many guys you have on, how many ladders, how much fall protection that you have, how many anchors that we need, what's the pitch of the roof. So there's so many little things that we have to focus on. And so it's so crucial for us to use this program because it's very easy to forget something.
Again, you have someone that cares and you have a digital program that helps. I'm still failing to see how some of these other roofing companies allow their workers to get up there on the roof, but I digress.
Is it mandatory to have all this safety equipment, or is it optional?
Well, it's definitely mandatory. I think OSHA would frown if you were not tied off properly on the roof. And so we're always, that's our goal on there. But, that's what it's mandatory. So if it's mandatory, why don't you use it as a positive instead of a negative?
Sure.
Right. And it helps me with my sales side of things because we incorporate it into our presentation to the homeowner. a homeowner wants to make sure that you're safe on their roof, right? They don't want to see somebody fall off a roof. They don't want their kids to see somebody fall off the roof, and the neighbors definitely don't want to see somebody fall off the roof. So if like we talked about before, but if an ambulance pulls up to a house, well, then if I'm doing Mike's neighbors, Mike's probably not going to call me to have him do his roof just because of what he just saw. They're not taking safety to the level that they need to.
Sure.
So we use that as a selling tactic in our presentation, and if a homeowner sees that and they're like, okay, well, this makes sense. If they're putting this much effort towards making sure the guys are safe, then they put this much effort to make sure that the quality shingles that we're putting on are right. So it goes down, it triggers down from that, just making sure like all of our guys wear the same color shirt. So, making sure that they look professional as well. So every little detail that we try to take care of.
Do you ever get pushback from your crew or anybody on your crew about wearing fall arrest? Because I hear money, I hear time, and I hear guys don't want to wear it.
I think there's always going to be pushback. And it comes into experience, right? We have a crew that we've had for years now that understand that there's an importance to it. And what's nice is I've met their families. So the more that I'm involved with just getting to know them on a personal level, the more they respect me enough to know, okay, it makes sense. Hey, he's trying to look out for the best interest of me. And then from there, the efficiency side. So it really isn't much more non-efficient for us not to wear it. So if you're on a 12-12, you have to have some type of fall protection on. You're going to fall off a roof. So you already have something. You already have to be tied off. Why not just do it the right way?
Yeah,
sure. There.
And how many crews of people do you have?
So we do have a crew, shingle crew, as well as a metal crew, and then a gutter crew.
So, Mike, was there anything else safety-wise you wanted to ask James?
Well, you mentioned you had different crews for asphalt and for metal roofing. Is there any different safety hazards between the different crews?
There is, of course, metal roofs, it's like ice skates out there. So especially with dew in the morning and just how slippery it can be. So it's just different ways that we want to make sure that the guys can, the main concern when you're doing a roof is you got to tie off. Well, how do you tie off? Well, you got to get to the ridge to be able to get everything anchored in. So how do you get to the ridge? So those are the questions that we have. So the biggest concern we have is getting to the ridge in the morning time. So we use a product called a goat, and it's a ladder with a hook on it. So it hooks over the ridge. We're able to climb up to the top, and then the guys from there can put the brackets in and make sure the safety harness is everything secure. So, and then there's other products out there that are shoe related that will stick to the shingles, stick to the metal roof. It's got magnets in it. So
man.
Yeah, it's technology is crazy, but it really is some very interesting stuff, and it works really well. But we rely on those products to get us to the ridge, so then we can take and we can tie off for our fall protection.
Now, just a question on the shoes. Do the magnetic shoes for metal roofs, can you also use those on asphalt roofs, or are they strictly for metal roofs?
So they have ones for metal roofs, and then they have ones for shingle roofs.
And they're separate. They're not one and the same.
Yeah, you can't intertwine them on there. And that'd be a good product to have if you could take the magnets off, but I don't know, for a safety concern to be able to take the magnets off and put it back on.
Mm-hmm.
But the shingle ones have pads on them. So you've seen, if you've ever passed by a roof and you've seen where they have the cushions on the roofs.
The big couch cushions.
The big couch cushions. So
is that not just for break time?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And they use them. So they're dual, they use them for break time and then on a roof type of thing. But they're comfortable on the roof that they can kneel down and get their work done, as well as a company has taken that same mentality of that same material and put it on the bottom of a shoe. So now the shoes stick to the shingles, and that's what's worked out really well. So when we do inspections as well, we always are wearing those shoes when we're doing our inspections.
I wonder how those shoes actually work on the metal rung of a ladder. It'd be interesting to see that, because if they work well on shingles, and obviously the magnetic shoes are for metal roofs, how do those asphalt shoes work on a extension ladder? That'd be interesting to look at.
Especially a damp extension ladder.
Yeah, so we've had instances in the past where guys had these shoes on, our ladders are tied off, and the main issue that we have and concern is always that transition from getting on the roof and getting back off the roof, right?
Mm-hmm. It's also one of the most cited violations by OSHA. I mean, first off, it's fairly easy to see. You can just count the number of rungs, but OSHA says you have to have 3 feet above that transition surface. So you can count the rungs and just see whether or not you're meeting that requirement. But the reason for the requirement is so that you have something to hold on to as you're transitioning from that work surface onto the ladder. You're not bending over and reaching, trying to grab the top of the ladder and then try to step onto it. So
I saw something where you attach to the top of the ladder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that makes sense too, to have that, because, you know, if you think about when you're trying to get onto the roof and you're 3 rungs above, for me, I'm short, so that I can't walk up over the ladder, over the 3 rungs. I'm moving to the side and going up.
You have to swing around.
You have to swing around.
What kind of device are we using?
So, well, there's what's called walkthroughs.
That's what it
Yep.
is.
So Werner has a brand new walkthrough. It clamps to the top of the ladder. And what it does is it extends 3 feet up from that top of the ladder. So you meet that OSHA requirement. But instead of having rungs in the middle, you can walk right through it. So instead of having to swing around to get to the ladder, you can hold on, turn, and descend the ladder.
Gotcha.
And that really makes a really good idea. And the reason is because walking, getting on the roof, going up the roof is a lot easier than coming down off the roof. Mm-hmm. And if you think about, now you're trying to grab a ladder that's tied off, right? And then you're trying to swing your body to get onto that ladder. There's a safety issue there.
Oh, that's always the hardest part.
That's the hardest part. Yeah. If you have a little bit of belly like me, man, it makes it a lot harder. Tell you that.
Absolutely.
You know, but having a walkthrough, I think, would be very important to have.
One of the things I did notice about his crew is, it may sound weird, but they were all happy. And I think there's something to be said about guys who are enjoying doing the work that they do, especially a high risk job like working on roofs and roofing. And that's a testament to you and your leadership within your company. So who's doing the plan? Are you doing the planning for your crew, or is the crew chief doing the planning for his crew?
We're doing it together.
Okay.
So
excellent.
Since I'm the one providing the pictures, I'm making the notes, and then he'll see all the pictures and the notes. From there, we just discuss back and forth on making sure he has everything he needs to do that roof that day.
A team effort.
Now, how have your employees reacted to your emphasis on safety?
I think that they're really happy. I think when we talk about retention of a employee is, you know, if somebody sees that you're trying to take care of them and that you're trying to, you know, be safe, and they understand that you have a family, that they have a family, and they need to come home every night. I think that there's a retention there, and it's not so focused on how much money you're paying me. There's a combination, I think, of making sure that they see that, okay, you know, the pay's well, and then we have the right equipment on site for me to be safe while I'm doing my job, because it's a really tough job. I mean, these guys are, you know, doing a 10-12 pitch roof one day, and the next day they're doing a 12-12 pitch. And if you've ever been on your knees for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours getting up, and it's unbelievable. And these guys, I've never seen my crew, and a testament to my crew, but I've never seen them have a bad day. So that's huge, you know,
like
in
Mike
this industry.
You can't force a crew to be happy every day.
Right.
That's something that happens organically.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. And we see that, you know, and my homeowners see that. And it's one of the main feedbacks that we hear from homeowners is, man, your crew was just happy out there today, you know, joking around with each other, you know, kind of a side note, but they love to arm wrestle. So they'll get off after doing a roof all day long, and they'll want to arm wrestle me, or they want to arm wrestle the crew chief, you know? So it's just fun little light things that kind of where we enjoy our day.
So we have the walkthrough at the top of the ladder for safety. You know, most ladders I've ever set, the ground's never level. What do we do in that instance?
Werner just come out with a new product, a Level Safe Pro, that goes on the bottom of the ladder. It's an automatic leveler. A lot of times what happens is you put your ladder on the ground, it's not level, and you step on it and it comes out of level even more. With an automatic leveler, you lift it up, you put it down, you can set it on uneven ground, and it'll automatically find level. Then if you go to step on it and it comes out of level, you have what we call micro adjust, and you can open the handles, you use the bubble level to get it level, lock it back down, and you're already on that solid surface, so the feet are stable to then start ascending the ladder.
That sounds far less complicated than the types of devices I've used in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we have ladders that have something like that on them, but they're not extension ladders. And we use extension ladders every day. Mm-hmm. So being able to have that, again, that goes back to efficiency, right? You know, we're always trying to figure out how we can level off a ladder, you know, by whatever we have to use to make sure it's safe, but it's level at the same time. So to be able to have a leveler on it and it's automatic, because you're always trying to pull up and figure out how to make it level, even with the levelers that are out there, the automatic would work really well.
Well, and your guys have to appreciate you having the foresight to give them these tools.
Right. And they appreciate the fact that, you know, I'm always trying to look out the best interest in mind is making sure that they're safe and they can be efficient. And the guys know that.
And I'll tell you, just as that neighbor seeing his crew out there, they were happy. I know it sounds like a small bit, but when you see people enjoying the job that they do, especially a high risk job that they're doing, and seeing them laughing and being happy afterwards, you feel like you're doing something right. And
you can't force that. That's actually, that's organic.
Right. Yeah, the guys always show up happy. And I tell people all the time, I mean, it motivates me. You know, we're starting jobs at 6 o'clock in the morning. They're starting job at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I got to make sure that I'm up and I'm dressed and I'm ready and I'm there as well. So it just motivates me to get up in the morning, have a good attitude, and go to work, because, you know, they're the ones on the roof that are doing a strenuous, hard job, and I just need to keep them safe and make sure that they're efficient.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, James, was there anything else you'd like to add while we have you here today?
No, I really appreciate just having a discussion, and you know, if this could, you know, hit one person out there, another roofing company, just to understand that you can take a different perspective of have fall protection, and the different perspective is use it for your benefit, right? It's already keeping your guys safe. On top of the fact, now you're going to promote this to the homeowner, and you're going to generate leads out of because of this. You know, because you got the neighbor watching you. Mm-hmm. You know, you got anybody walking down the street watching you, and they want to see how professional that roofing company is. So I would say use it for your benefit.
Awesome. Well, James, thank you for joining us. Mike, as always, if anybody has anything they'd like to let us know, we'd love to hear your comments. Leave them below. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.